What do we believe is the status of the election? First of all, everybody should go out and vote, okay? I believe it's going to come down to the following states. Not a big surprise. Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Iowa on the eastern side of the United States, maybe Ohio as well. Trump needs to win, has to win, I believe, all 5 of those states. So if you are sitting back and you are watching the election results come in, there are going to be a lot of states that are not competitive. But on the eastern side of the United States, there will be 5 that Trump needs to win in order to be elected president. Ohio, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, and Iowa. Now, are there other pathways for Trump if he doesn't win those states? Yes, but they're very slim. The latest election odds, as they are adjusting in real time overseas in Europe, where betting on American elections is allowed, Trump is now the favorite in Florida. We had the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, on my radio program this morning. He said, based on the data that he had seen, again, going into Election Day, he felt good about Trump's chances to win the state of Florida, and he thought the state could be announced around 9 Eastern time. 9 p.m. Eastern, that's the biggest shoe to drop early where we should have a result. Trump has to win Florida. He has to win Georgia. He has to win Iowa. Right now, the betting markets have Trump favored in all those states. I even hesitate to share the betting market data, however, because I don't want to discourage any of you from going out and voting. There are still a lot of hours of voting left. Many of you are at work. Many of you are at school. Wherever you may be, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, North Carolina, and Ohio, all of those states are incredibly important to Trump. If he wins those states, and I think there's a decent chance that he will, if he wins those states, then Arizona becomes the next major battleground. It's going to be a big battleground anyway. What I have been telling you is Trump needs to win Arizona and he needs to win Pennsylvania to be elected president. If he does that, he'll be the president of the United States, okay? The number of ways that Joe Biden can win is shrinking. Early on, the talk was how many different pathways he had to the presidency. I think it's ultimately going to come down to the Big Ten, which is what last election came down to. Trump won Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin by a combined 77,000 votes. That's one Big Ten football stadium, okay? If Trump wins one of those 3 states, he is likely to be the president of the United States, all right? Biden is probably going to have to win all of those states. Now, there's a bunch of different mathematical equations that can come into play. There can be upsets, North Carolina, Nevada, states that people don't anticipate. New Hampshire. There are a lot of different states that are kind of there that could tip in a way we don't anticipate happening. But right now, I believe this election, there's a very good chance it's going to come down to Pennsylvania. If Biden wins Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Iowa, any of those states, certainly Ohio, then it will kind of be a foregone conclusion early what's going to end up happening. If Trump wins those states, then buckle up, because the rest of the night and even the next couple of weeks may be a real mess as we try to unravel, given all the different mail-in and absentee ballots that are being sent, what actual result comes to play in Michigan, in Minnesota, in Wisconsin, and in Pennsylvania. So just keep in mind there, much going on. Know who to trust. We're trying to do our best at Outkick to only give you accurate information, only talk about data that we know is there, or betting market data from Europe that reflects what people are putting their money on. But ultimately, what it always comes down to in America is who can mobilize their voters. Who can get people to go out and get one of these stickers and be able to reflect that American democracy remains alive and well? A lot of people are voting. What will those final results show? Again, I voted. I encourage all of you to go get your votes in. If you haven't voted yet, you need to go get your vote in, because it's going to be tight. This is not an election where one side is going to wallop the other one. I really don't believe. I think it's going to come down to maybe even a few thousand votes cast out of a country with over 300 million people and potentially 150 million people voting.